They thought the story had ended, but heaven had one last chapter to write. On a quiet mountain, under the morning light, the King of Heaven stood, ready to return where he came from. The earth held its breath, and the sky began to move. He looked at them one last time, faces he had laughed with, wept with, loved beyond measure. And with hands scarred by love, he lifted them in blessing. His words were soft, but they burned with eternity. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Every heartbeat stopped as his voice carried across the mountain. These weren't goodbye words, they were a mission. Go and make disciples of all nations. The king wasn't leaving behind followers, he was sending out fire. Then the light changed. The sky shifted, clouds opened as if heaven itself leaned closer. And for a moment, the mountain felt too small to hold his glory. Without a word, he began to rise. Slowly, peacefully, the same feet that once walked dusty roads now stepped into eternity. The disciples watched, unable to move, as their king left the earth that had rejected him. Some cried. Some fell to their knees. The wind grew stronger. The light grew brighter. And in that holy silence, humanity watched heaven take back its king. He disappeared into clouds of gold and white. The very sky that once hid storms, now carried a savior. It wasn't just an ascension, it was a promise written in the wind. And on the other side of the clouds, heaven roared in worship. Angels bowed as the sun returned, the wound still in his hands, the victory still fresh in his eyes. The throne welcomed its king, and eternity rejoiced. But down below, the disciples still stared upward, lost between grief and glory. Until two angels appeared, shining like lightning. Why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus will return, the same way you saw him go. Hope returned, their hearts burned again. The king was gone, but his fire had only just begun. They returned to Jerusalem. No armies. No banners. Just faith. In a small upper room, they prayed, and waited. They didn't know when, but they knew, heaven would move again. Then it happened. A sound, like rushing wind, filled the room. Flames appeared above their heads. The same fire that once lit the mountain, now burned within men's hearts. Peter, once afraid to speak, stood and roared. This Jesus, whom you crucified, is alive. And with that, the fire spread, from street to city to nations. The church was born in power. Love conquered fear. And every believer carried the same flame he left behind. The sky still waits, for the day that same King returns. Music swells, heavenly choir, slow orchestral rise. And somewhere beyond the clouds, he sits on the throne, the scars still shining, the promise still alive. The same Jesus. The same love. The same fire. The King who rose, and the sky that took him home. If this story moved your heart, don't scroll away. Comment, "The King still reigns," folded hands. And share this, so his story keeps burning, until the sky opens again.